Let's talk about color. It's one of the most powerful and, let's be honest, sometimes intimidating tools we have for shaping our personal spaces. But what if I told you that by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to use it with total confidence?
You know the feeling, right? You're standing in front of that giant wall of paint swatches, and every single shade of white, or gray, or beige starts to look exactly the same. If you've ever felt that rising panic of trying to pick the perfect color, yeah, you're not alone. We've all been there.
And then you see a room like this one. It's just so perfect. The colors are deep, they're layered, and somehow they just work together beautifully. It's easy to think, wow, some people are just born with an eye for this. But is it really some kind of innate talent? Or is it a skill that you can actually learn?
Well, that question is exactly what we're going to tackle. Let's call it the color conundrum, and we're going to break it all down step by step.
Because here's the good news, and it's a game changer. Having an eye for color isn't magic. It's a skill. It's something you can absolutely learn no matter how unconfident you felt in the past. It's just about learning to see things a little differently. So let's start with the very basics.
First things first, we have to understand what color is. And believe me, the answer is probably not what you think. It's actually all about physics.
I mean, think about it. If you're in a pitch black room, there's no color, right? Everything's just black. That's because color isn't really a part of an object. It's a property of light itself.
Okay, so here's how it works in three super simple steps. 1, light hits an object. 2, the surface of that object soaks up or absorbs some of those light wavelengths. And 3, whatever wavelengths it doesn't absorb get bounced or reflected back into your eye. And that reflection is the color you see. And this is where that idea really clicks. Take a look at this gorgeous blue wall. Technically, that wall isn't blue. What's really happening is that the paint is absorbing all the other colors in the light spectrum, the reds, the yellows, the greens, and it's rejecting the blue wavelengths. So the color you see is literally the color that the object pushed away. Kind of cool, right? Okay, science lesson over. Now that we know what color is, let's get to the fun part. What color does? Because it has this incredible power to affect how a room actually feels. You can basically sort colors into three main families based on how they make us feel. You've got your warm colors, reds, oranges, yellows. They feel lively, energetic. They're great for social spaces like living rooms or kitchens. Then you've got cool colors, blues, greens, purples. These are your relaxing, calming colors, perfect for bedrooms or a quiet study. And of course, there are neutrals, the whites, grays, and beiges that act as a perfect backdrop and make a space feel balanced. And you can really feel that here, can't you? This room is just drenched in warm colors. The deep reds, the earthy oranges. It just makes you want to curl up with a book. It feels cozy, inviting, and full of a warm social energy.
Now let's flip that completely on its head. This space, dominated by cool blues, has a totally different vibe. It's instantly calming. It feels serene, focused, almost tranquil. You haven't changed the furniture or the layout, but by shifting the color temperature, you've transformed the entire emotional experience of the room. So you get the science, you get the feeling, but how do you actually put these colors together without it looking like a mess? Let's get practical. Let's talk about harmony. And here's the secret. Stop thinking about color schemes as these rigid, scary rules you have to follow. Think of them more like recipes. They're just tried and true guides to help you get the look and feel you're going for. Let's look at a couple of easy ones. First up is a total classic, the complementary scheme. This one is all about creating energy and impact. You just take two colors that are directly opposite each other on the color wheel. Think blue and orange or red and green. When you put them together, they make each other pop. And hey, look, we're back in this bathroom, but now we see why it works so well. The deep, cool blue of the walls and the tiles is the perfect base. It makes those complementary warm yellows and oranges in the towel and the basket just sing. It's so dynamic and full of life. Now, for a totally different vibe, let's talk about the monochromatic scheme. This one is way more subtle and sophisticated. You just pick one single color to be your hero, and then you build your entire palette using different versions of it. Lighter tints, darker shades, more muted tones. This room is a perfect example. Everything here is built around the color red, but because they've used all these different shades and tones, from deep magenta to softer pinks, the result is incredibly rich and layered. It feels totally cohesive, but it's anything but flat or boring.
So, we've covered the science behind color, the psychology of how it makes us feel, and a couple of simple recipes for putting it all together. But what's the most important tool you have in your design kit? Well, it's you. It really boils down to this. Once you understand the basics, the most important thing you can do is just look. Stop overthinking it. The theory is there to guide you, but at the end of the day, you have to trust your own eyes. And honestly, this is the only rule that truly matters. The whole point isn't to follow a formula perfectly. It's to create something that looks and feels beautiful to you. That's it. That's the whole goal. So please, never underestimate this. Color is, without a doubt, the most powerful and fastest way you can completely change the character and feeling of your own space. You can use it to build a calm, quiet sanctuary. You can use it to create an energizing hub for your friends and family. Or you can just use it to create a space that is 100% unapologetically you. The possibilities are truly endless. And that just leaves us with one final thought. Every color you choose, every palette you create, tells a story about you and your home. So the only question left is, what story do you want to tell?